When you think of Rayquaza, you think of one of the strongest and most iconic legendaries, powerful, intimidating, and exceptionally rare. It's the master of the Weather Trio, the sky-high Pokemon that keeps Groudon and Kyogre in check. This is a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve without the need for a trainer due to its Mikado organ. Its Mega Evolution is so strong that it's practically in its own competitive tier of its own, with its fair share of bans. We've seen Rayquaza appear and made its presence known in movies like Destiny Deoxys and Hoopa and the Class of Ages, but today we're talking about the one and only, perhaps controversial even, the Black Rayquaza from Pokemon Horizons. Before I go on, be warned there are spoilers in this video for the 2023 Pokemon anime, but if you don't mind such, let us continue. There's always been a debate about whether there are multiple of each legendary. I have a belief there are 1 to 3 per verse for each legendary species, with some exceptions like the Creation Trio and Arceus. In Pokemon Horizons, the Shiny Rayquaza feels different. It doesn't quite feel like the experienced, all-powerful protector of the skies we're used to. It feels like a novice and new, so I have a theory. This Rayquaza was a newborn, or at least a young one compared to the others. Think about it. It's suggested that this Rayquaza was the starter Pokemon for a young trainer named Lucius, who is the ancestor of Liko, one of the main protagonists of Horizons. But that leads to the question, how did Lucius get his hands on the Master of the Skies? Did he prove himself in a trial of some sorts, or did he inherit it? Let's dive into his character a bit more for more context. I believe Lucius was a noble, perhaps even a distant royal, who traded a life of playing by the book for the call of adventure. Looking at his design, his attire is unique, complex, and looks incredibly expensive for his time period. As a high-ranking noble, it's possible that Lucius was gifted a mysterious egg during his childhood. Maybe his family came into contact with the Dragonade people, a dwindling clan by this era. It could be that Lucius raised the egg, bonded with it, and eventually hatched into the Black Rayquaza we know today. Since the anime is keeping Lucius' past under wraps, this is the best what I can work with, but I suppose some things are left to be unsaid in canon, for that mystery vibe. As the two traveled together, Rayquaza helped Lucius assemble some of his team, the 6 heroes. Lucius found friendship with a trainer named Gibeon, and he also found love with a woman named Ristle, but ultimately Lucius found tragedy. Lucius and his friends would be known as the Explorers, searching for paradise, but they only found the opposite at the end. After a disaster, Rayquaza was sealed away inside an ancient Pokeball for over a century, trapped in a spear, still semi-aware of the world as generations passed. After 100 years, 2 trainers named Liko and Roy released it. One of the first things that Rayquaza did was fire off a chaotic Draco meteor and flew away. But before it did, it recognized Liko's connection to Lucius. It also helps that the blue-haired man's genes were incredibly dominant in the family tree. As it flew, Rayquaza somehow received a mysterious message from a white Zygarde, the Pokemon of Gibeon, who was still alive due to the alien material known as Requiem, which was the root cause behind the disaster that happened a century ago. Requiem is a chaotic substance that makes the Pokemon more powerful, with the massive drawback of hurting the Pokemon itself. What was the message Zygarde sent to Rayquaza, you may ask? Again, huge spoilers, it was to find trainers worthy of inheriting the 6 heroes in Terrapagos, the little gem turtle that once belonged to Ristle. The goal is to find a way to get rid of Requiem once and for all. I don't know about you, but I find it poetic that the lords of the earth and sky, who are black and white, are working together to help the world. This also shows something pretty rare when it comes to Rayquaza. It shows it has great intelligence and has communicative senses, potential to be reasoned with rather than just the territorial monster we know it can be. This dragon has been a straight up menace for years that we barely see such behavior, which is kinda nice in my opinion. Ever since its release, the dragon leads the Rising Volttyclers to each lost member of Lucius's heroes to reunite them either directly or indirectly with the same goal of testing the strength of the crew and to see if they are worthy. Along the way, Rayquaza even got into direct confrontations with the trainers. It battled, it also got damaged more and more with each time as the trainers kept getting stronger and more experienced. It lost a hit-on clash with Fuecoco before, which definitely left a mark on the community. Some fans might be annoyed that it isn't truly invincible, but honestly, I don't mind it as I find it amusing. But I understand where people are coming from. I'm actually quite biased to Fuecoco because it's actually my favorite starter. But anyways, if this is truly a baby Rayquaza that's been stuck in a ball for a century, it's going to be rusty and going to get knocked around. And don't get me started with the games. It wasn't until the final raid battle in Area 0, Rayquaza came from the heavens to directly battle the Rising Volttyclers on its own accord after getting jumped several times before. This was after Liko and the others recaptured the other hero Pokemon, so this was Rayquaza's final test, and in the end, it was defeated by the combined efforts of the trainers, with Roy dealing with the final blow and recapturing it with the Ancient Ball. The revelation that Lucius was still alive after all these years, trapped and alone, was sorta surprising, but in hindsight, it made sense with how Requiem keeps people alive beyond the natural limits. There was a grand battle to get rid of Requiem, or so it was thought to be. When Gibbon was defeated and turned to his senses, the hero Pokemon and Terapkos did their best to quell the threat from the aftermath. When the crystals disappeared, Lucius and Gibbon finally faded from the mortal realm. This left Rayquaza and the heroes wild and free. But another problem came up as one of Gibbon's underlings had technology that caused the former heroes to go berserk, using the remnants of Requiem. As I mentioned before, Rayquaza feels different. It isn't just a beast, it's a guardian. Even though it's technically free now, it chooses to stay close to the rising Volteclers to protect as a new villain arises. It's a scout and a protector even after its trainer's death. You cannot talk about the Shiny Rayquaza of Horizons without talking about Roy. The dragon is Roy's dream. The ancient ball was passed down to him by his grandfather who found it, and from the moment it opened, Roy's goal was simply set. He wanted to become the Black Rayquaza's partner. He dreams of becoming a legendary trainer, following in the footsteps of the stories he grew up with. Stories of Lucius. Roy started as a complete rookie. He stumbled, he suffered setbacks, and at times he was dangerously impulsive, disregarding safety just to get the Rayquaza's attention. But through those stumps he matured. He eventually earned the Rayquaza's respect, even caring for it briefly before the climactic battle at Rikua. At the time of recording this video, there has been a time skip, which is a first for the Pokemon anime. During the 1-year gap, Roy has made great efforts at becoming a seasoned trainer, defeating the likes of Drayton and Freed. It's only a matter of time until Roy fully proves himself. Rayquaza is currently resting at the cave near Blackthorn City after fighting the frenzied hero Pokemon. It is also important to note that Roy received something from Freed to help Rayquaza reach its full potential, presumably Mega Evolving using meteorites to refuel its Mikado organ. The big question is, will Roy actually catch the legendary or will he become friends with it? Maybe he does capture it and releases it to become the guardian of Rikua once everything is done and over with. Only time will tell. And in all honesty, given Rayquaza's track record, I don't mind if he actually does become a permanent member of Roy's team. Overall, Pokemon Horizons has its fair share of flaws and good moments, but it is something new, so I give kudos for the company trying something after retiring Ash and Pikachu after 26 years, so it's no easy task. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. I'm still learning how to do these, but it's coming along. I would appreciate if you lads would like and subscribe, and maybe even follow my other socials. Thank you, and see you all in the next video.